crypto space has been heating up nicely in the last few hours. We're going to jump into the charts, take a look at a few different altcoins to see exactly what's been going on and what might happen next here. So as we get into it, if you find it useful and informative, hit the like button. Really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do at Cheeky Crypto. Do join us over on Patreon if you're looking for more information on, technical analysis, charts, and trading. We do cover a lot over in Discord for the Patreon members, so do check that out as well. Right, with all that said, done and out of the way, let's actually jump down into the charts and take a look at what's going on. Okay, guys, so here we are. This is going to start things off with Ethereum, right? And we can see here that we have this big ABC move down, right? This is something that we can acknowledge. We had this big A wave here, kind of coming into completion just around this low point here, right? We can see this as a kind of double tap to the bottom of our A wave. Very large A wave, right? And then we obviously pushed up with a larger B wave, kind of coming in just at the top here. This kind of came in at about 4,790, okay? A little bit short of that $4,900 range, right? And there was a lot of resistance up in this area, so you can see this is an obvious place for completion. And then we started to pull back down. We obviously had the crash. We had kind of a lot going on in the space, but this completes your C wave. Now, what we're going to do is just confirm a couple of things. First of all, we're going to measure out the distance on this A wave, and we're going to confirm how far things were with our C wave here, right? Now, obviously, I need to just draw that the other way around so we can see whether we went impulsive down or whether or not we are tracking okay. So we're going to grab this again, and we're going to run it from the high of our A wave. We're going to drag this over to the high of our B wave. I'll just drop that there. And here you can see we hit exactly the 1.382. If we went past this, it would have triggered an impulsive move down. So we just narrowly avoided it. We avoided quite a few things in this pullback. It was almost by design, if you will. We saw basically, us avoid the Bitcoin close, the weekly close candle on the Gaussian channel. And we can also see that we've prevented Ethereum here going impulsive past that 1.382. So we got the bounce from there. Now, what's quite clear from this bounce is we ended up with this ABC move. So I'm just going to clear this up a little bit so we can see what's going on, right? So we had the big ABC going down here with ETH. And then we can see here that we had this ABC move coming up. Just here, we can see this. Okay, big ABC up. That completed that B wave. Then we saw the ABC pull back. Now, this was an impulsive move down, okay? And we can measure this one. Okay, so we take that high of our A wave just here, and we go ahead and put this on top of our B wave. And we can see that we went past the 1.382, went past the 1.618, past the 2.618, and all the way down to this lower area just before getting to that 3.618. Okay, so we know that there's a lot of impulse in this this move to the downside, right? And if we were looking at it from lots of different time points, we'd see also that this is full of waves, right? And we'd actually be looking for, basically we'd be looking for this kind of we call it 1 through 5 move here. Okay, now it's really hard to see this on such a short time frame because we pulled back so sharply. But basically, that's kind of what we are looking for. If you look at it from a smaller time perspective, you'd find this 5 impulsive moves to the downside completing this C wave. To keep things simple, though, you can also just acknowledge it as an ABC if you want. So A, B, and a C wave just here. And when you actually take a look at it from an ABC perspective, you can measure out that distance of A and throw this on top of B, and again you can see that we narrowly missed going impulsive even further, okay, from that hourly perspective. So we're confident in saying that this is the bottom of our wave C of the larger time frame. We can see that, right? So on our hourly, potentially even if we take a look at it from an 8-hourly perspective, it probably makes a little bit more sense from an ABC perspective, right? See that really coming in there. But on the smaller time frame that is the hour, we can obviously see that we came into the bottom. We found the bottom here. And, we were oversold at that point. We then had this wave A appear, taking us up into the overbought area, pull back for wave B, taking us back into oversold, push up into the top of wave C. And of course, we're coming down. We're looking for that ABC right now. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to quickly grab hold of our A range here. And we'll grab it from the top this time around. Okay, and we'll pull this down. And we'll move this over to the bottom of our B. And we can see that the C wave came in actually quite short, right? It should have actually been up here to marry up 1 for 1. So we haven't actually seen that entire move, right? So I'm just going to leave that C wave just there for a second. Now, considering the fact that we are looking for this ABC as a small ABC move, now we're looking for an ABC up, right? We're kind of indicating this just here, right? So there's this ABC, okay? And inside here, we have an ABC, okay? We can see this. There's an A just here. Here's our B wave, and now we're looking for that C wave, right? Right now we're oversold. So right now what we're actually tracking for is this larger kind of now C wave kind of coming in with this ABC inside of our C wave. Now I don't want to confuse people, but basically that's kind of what you're looking at. We're looking for an ABC down. We found the ABC going down. It's right here. It's in this smaller time frame. Okay, it's if we actually expand this up, we can see it quite clearly right here. Let me just move this needle out of the way for a sec. Let me just grab hold of that. He says, move that down, and what we'll do is we'll actually, you know what, I'm just going to delete this off. Let's get it out of the way. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at this. We can obviously have that high point, pull back, push up, pull back. There's our ABC. It's a tiny little ABC inside of our B wave here. Now this is triggering that last step of a C wave up. This would actually bring us into completion on the 1-for-1 ratio with the A wave and the C wave being equal. So let me zoom back out here so you get an idea of that bigger picture. Okay, so we have this A here. We had the B wave, which is again an A, B, C move. Okay, and now we're tracking this ABC move up, and it's a part of a much bigger ABC in itself. Okay, so obviously, when we follow Elliott wave, we have to acknowledge that there's waves everywhere, inside waves, and inside those waves, there are also waves. It all depends on the timelines that you're looking at. So I'm doing a lot here on the hourly view, okay, but I'm also drawing in the larger views, okay? So we have the larger ABC moves. We have than you would normally see, right? And on the hourly, you can see the micro movements as well. So we're finding this ABC up, okay, after an ABC down. Oversold on ETH, and we are looking to push up. So our technical target here for Ethereum is to basically push the price to 4,664. And again, we can expect this to go a little bit higher and a little bit lower. Again, we'll be looking at that 786, that $4,500, looking to breach that line there. And if we actually go past the 4,946, we'll go impulsive up, turning this whole thing from an ABC move into, in fact, a 1 through 5 to the upside. Okay, so for now, we're going to leave our technical target just there at 4,664. Okay, for ETH, and then we'll be tracking that to see if we actually turn it impulsive. But it's good to see that this is progressing quite nicely after that pullback, and we have this good kind of reversal, this V bottom, if you will, as we get some traction to the upside on Ethereum. So that's looking pretty good and pretty nice to see, right? And we're also going to check out 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 here as well. There's a lot kind of going on with 𝗲, so I'm just going to quickly zoom out into the 8 hourly. And basically what we were tracking here was this Elliott triangle. I think this is actually completely fallen apart now. So I'm going to take a lot of this out. I don't think this is actually playing out anymore. So let me just remove some of this and remove our A through E, and we'll remove our arrow. What I am going to do though is I'm going to remove that, is leave on here the trend lines. Okay, so we can see that on the larger play here we have the trend lines, and obviously pulling right the way back down into our previous buy zone just here. Okay, this is a real strong area kind of coming back into. Now, when we actually zoom out on this 8 hourly view, it's good to kind of see this kind of play out in, you know, the motion that it's kind of having. Now, what we are going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to pop it over here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just basically draw these trend lines up a little bit. And I'm going to extend this back to see whether or not we actually come into contact with anything else. We do not, so I'm going to leave that there. Okay, so here's our new kind of trend line on these lower bound. Okay, so we've got some progress to kind of make up for now with 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 on the larger kind of piece here. I'm also going to extend this up nice and high as well and bring this down nice and low at this end. So this gives us a nice steep kind of level to say that there's some form of kind of pullback trend here. It's quite easy to see really when you zoom out anyway. And there's also a kind of I guess trend line up that's acting as a reasonable level of support. It's only 2 touch points. I prefer 3. We have 3 to the downside, only 2 on the bottom. So as I said many times before, trend lines are the easiest thing to draw, but they're also the easiest thing to invalidate. So I'm just going to leave that there for a second. And we're going to take a look at this bigger piece on 𝗲. So again, we have that really large A, B, C play. Okay, and we can see what's happened here previously. We can measure this out as we had done with Ethereum. We can put this on here, and we can see that actually there was a lot of room to fall here with this one, but obviously it found good support. So we can ignore what that actually did. It was a really shallow kind of pullback, which is interesting. So if I actually take this across here for a sec, and we go ahead and actually throw that on, you can see that this was actually really, really shallow of a correction. We didn't actually pull back that far, and we actually hit quite nicely here. So the C wave on this particular chart actually looks okay and not too bad. And then obviously we started to get some traction to the upside. We had this kind of reversal, very much like a V bottom just in here. If I grab my brush, you can kind of see that just there. Now this was, of course, forming a part of our bigger play, right? We had our A wave coming in, we had a B wave coming up, and this could now be our C wave, with a D wave and then a new E wave down here. This is one that we are now tracking, okay, in a similar way that we're tracking a new kind of Elliott wave triangle on VeChain as well, right? So we're going to track this to see if this one plays out as well. But otherwise, for the most part, we can see that there's significant kind of pullbacks. Here's the latest one that we saw with the A, B, and C. Again, equal A to C there. We can see that quite nicely and lots of waves in. I'm not going to go and bore everyone, but we are looking here for a nice big A, B, C move now to complete D. And we ideally want this to actually come in with our trend line, right? So what we really want to do is basically see here an A, B, and C move. Now that A is probably going to have to actually be relatively short, probably in around this area here. Okay, get that C in there. That would complete D. That would then hopefully follow up with an A, B, C down into our lower range for an E wave. Okay, get that completed, and then actually that could be our trigger point for 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 to the next level. Okay, so I'll quickly just go ahead and throw that arrow on there. So we can kind of see that. And that's our ticket out of here for 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘. Okay, so interesting to see how this one plays out. Good level of support, and obviously descending triangle here. So watching that one play out will be an interesting kind of perspective. Obviously pulling back slightly lower than my expectation with a C wave here. Really interesting, but when you zoom out, actually you can see that kind of bigger play is also here for 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘. So one to watch out for. We could argue that there's a real big, if I actually grab hold of this, here's your top. Here's your bottom of your A, there's your B, and there's your C right there. Okay, much bigger kind of ABC correction than you may have looked at on the smaller time frames. So 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 is an interesting one. Lots of kind of growth potential with this particular project, so one to watch out for, and then we'll see if this one plays out with a D and an E. But we are partway through with 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 there. Now, the other coin I think that's worth actually talking about is going to be 𝗕𝗏𝗏 and EGOLD, right? Because we were tracking quite nicely with this project. So I'm going to throw this up into our hourly view, right? And basically, we have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move, these large time frames. So you can kind of see that on the 8 hourly a little bit clearer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Then we had the corrections. What we were trying to track here, if I actually take a lot of this stuff off right now, and we go through this in a blank slate, what we'll do is I'll throw this into our daily view, okay, because it's a little bit easier to see. What we were tracking here was basically a nice 5 wave, and now we are tracking a correction, right? So basically we have wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5. Okay, really simple to kind of see that. And that basically comes in from the bottom that we had of wave 4. Okay, this actually brings us into that 2.618 area of $558, right? And then we started to see that reversal. We were expecting a pullback here. We were tracking it slightly differently. We're tracking this as a 4th wave correction, but it isn't technically correct when you actually zoom out on the larger timepiece. Now, here we can see that this is an ABC down. Again, really prominent on the smaller time frames, but I'll try and draw it on here so you can see it. You have an ABC down. Okay, now we're looking for that reversal. We can see that we're oversold on our daily. Dropping into our hourly, we can see that we're also oversold. So we're looking for that reversal. We're looking for the ABC up now with 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏. Now, what we'll do is we'll actually go ahead and grab a hold of our A, B, and we're in that C, right? And when we measure this out, again, in the same way that we did with both 𝗕𝗘 and Ethereum, we can go ahead and put that on here, and we can see that target comes in at 368 for that C wave. Pushing higher than $410 is essentially going impulsive move to the upside, which would be basically met with, I'll just draw it over here, a 1, 2, I will go impulsive, 3, and then 4, and then 5, okay, taking us much, much higher. Okay, so interesting stuff does lie ahead here for 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏 and EGOLD as well. Obviously, a really good kind of 5th wave blasting at the top there. Then we're looking for that correction to bring us back down, and that correction is very much needed. Always happens, a nice big ABC move After a fifth wave, you do expect that, but everything bounces. So again, even if we are thinking of bearish scenarios, we need to acknowledge that if I actually pop this on, we'll be looking to bounce up towards that 618. So it's very possible that actually this goes up a little bit higher there. But I am going to just leave it where our technical target is for now and see how that plays out, because we could also see, you know, a smaller ABC here, followed by another kind of ABC to hit that rejection point of 423. Okay, so we'll watch that space and see how that one plays out. I'm not going to leave those on there. So yeah, for Elrond here, looking pretty good, looking at tracking quite nicely to the upside. Big ABC move on the cards here, overbought right now. Oversold right now, and looking to gain some traction to the upside. And again, like we said with Ethereum, there's waves within waves. You can see this right here. Okay, so that's where we're looking and tracking. So I'm going to leave the video there, guys. Just wanted to kind of give you an update that pretty much most of these altcoins are looking pretty interesting right now. Most of them are, of course, oversold and are heading up to the upside, completing a C wave move, which could lead us into an ABC correction to the downside at a little bit of a later stage. So if anyone was watching the video from this morning, I was expecting this pullback with the B wave, just bringing us down a little bit lower. This seems to be in. That looks like a pretty good entry point to take us into that C wave high, and then obviously do expect an ABC correction down from up there. If you have found this video useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do there at Cheeky Crypto. Right, with that said, done, and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.